we've got one today, we've got two. Hey, let's see what these are all about. It's here in the down view. So, here we go with the Bliger. How about that then? Now, if you hold it up against the width of, say, the Rolex sized Pro Diver, so let's have a look. 22mm lugs, some sort of fake crown, I believe. I don't know what that does. It may be a pressure release valve. Ceramic bezel, lume pip. Very. Now, it's a shame they put a white dial in there, white date wheel in there, because I think a black date wheel would have looked better. Sterile, no silly Chinese name. Automatic, and the British government broad arrow, signifying a British military watch, which is not a lie, you know. It doesn't have a display back, fortunately. A simple screw down case back. I don't know what the rated pressure is in this, but oh yeah, this is a Miyota movement, automatic. So there's going to be plenty of life in that. Now let's have a look at this lume, shall we? The lume is very it's cold. It's really cold. The markers take a bit longer than the rest of it to start. As you can see, look, the orange has turned green. Now the ceramic lume does turn to green as well. Can you see there? You know, it's phosphorin. But look at the hands, look, and how they're changing back to orange again. Isn't that cool? I think that's amazing. Give it some more. Wish I had a UV light actually, because it would make all this so much easier. There you go, and you can start to see the markers that are beginning to like change colour there. And so it's like a two-stage lume. I don't know, business. Now, the fly in the ointment is this soppy NATO strap. It's obviously designed for like like Japanese or Chinese men or something, like, you know. And this is why this won't be staying on here. Yeah, looks all nice. Oh look, the strap end doesn't get into the second bloody loop. What's the point of having it then? I mean, how bloody Mickey Mouse does that look? You watch yourself. You get an idea of its depth. It is, you know, a solid piece of watch on your wrist. So there you go, the Bliger sterile broad arrow diver's watch. And once I've got rid of that soppy bloody, what you call it, like, you know, I mean, how stupid can that be? I mean, obviously I've got thick wrists, but like they're not that much thicker than most people's. So like, you know, unless I'm like stick man or something, like, you know, it's a bit bloody useless. Right, we'll take it from there to the up view. So we're moving on to the Slava, like 242, what was it, 2628 or 2426 movement. Look at that, how clean and crisp. See, I like my other one of these with the same dial. Now this dial is based on the Okean chronograph dial. It's obviously designed by the same person. I don't know if that bezel is fixed or if it does actually rotate. I've left it alone. It's got like a kind of like faceting on the actual markers. Dinky little crown in that great big gap. There's no date. There's no date function on this, so there's no need to like have a pusher. There's no pusher. I think it's got shrouded lugs, 18mm. That strap will be going. No lume on the dial. It is a, you know, it's not an adventure watch. I haven't decided what I'm going to put on this yet, but it won't be this strap. There we go. As Slavas go, that's actually quite a big case. Now see, my automatic version of this, the hands for some reason just wore out, like, and they started slipping on the pinions, on the shafts. There's me talking about shafts, like, you know, oh dear, you know, come and wrap your hands around my pinions, darling, like, you know. I think that's very nice. It's not an automatic because it's evidenced by the 21 joules as opposed to the it would say automatic on a Slava. So there you go. Now just in comparison, you get an idea just how much bigger the Bliger is. It's a big and it's a obliging bugger. It is a lot bigger. So there you go, twin mainsprung, like excellent condition Slava. I've got no complaints. It's in very good nick. This is another Slava to the collection. Right, we'll take it to the up view and we'll see what's new. Well, there you have it. Double bubble, 2 for the price of 1. I like Slavas, you know. I started off with Vostoks, like, you know, I mean, it's kind of poker, I've got to catch them all and that, like, but I actually do like Slavas and Poljots a great deal. I don't have many Pabidas or Rakitas, right, and I've only got one Luch. Well, I've got 2. I've bought a set of 5 like clearance, which includes 2 like square 3050 and 3056 quartz, and in there is also like a Luch electromechanical hybrid, which is basically a quartz watch that nudges the balance wheel to keep the balance wheel, like, you know, swinging to its maximum thing so you get the maximum tick. So it is a mechanical watch as well as a quartz watch. So I think it's really cool. It is very unusual. But I mean, I'm really am a fan of Slavas. Unfortunately, I'm not a fan of this. What you would call this, like snake skin, crocodile skin, Brony Sun Lab in China skin. As long as it's not foreskin, we're on the winner. That's coming off, and I'm going to put that onto a decent sized heavy bracelet because it's got the shroud. It's not designed for a strap like this. It's designed for a bracelet more than a thing. But this I think is it's a Miyota powered dive watch that actually does what it says on the tin, and it's got the markings for like it doesn't have all this like me bang you good time sort of title on it, some of the names on these bloody Chinese watches are ridiculous. There's one called Xinu, Xinew, right, and it's because the people in the offices over there in China, they say, oh, President Xi or Z or whatever his name is, right? Let's name this watch after him, and then Z sounds a bit on its own, so let's make it sound really good by putting new behind the word XI, and these names are just ridiculous, like some of them do. Some of them are beginning to catch on. There's like Deer Hunt, and there's Ben Nevis. Now Ben Nevis actually is a Chinese thing. What they've done is they've copied the Seiko tuna turtle, and they've done a good job of it. But it's just crappy like lozenge quartz. It's nothing like a real Seiko except it looks. Whereas this has got a very good Miyota, and these came with a DG Chinese movement, which is like a step down from a seagull, or a Miyota for the extra like penny sort of thing, and I went for the Miyota. I'm glad I did. It's really weird when you shake your hand like that, right? You can actually hear it like ratcheting to itself. Most of my automatics, they've had this like kind of rattly plea in a very faint rattling plea in the pot sort of sound. This one you can actually hear it ratcheting to itself, and it's got sapphire glass. It's got fingerprints all over it. It's got sapphire glass, a very, very gentle anti-reflection. It was turning out to be a bit of a fingerprint magnet. Still haven't worked out if it's got any plastic over it or not. It's got a decent dive depth. Stupid bloody. Look at that. So what's the point of putting that there if it don't go that far? Stupid buggers. So that's coming off. It's no good to me, because I would have put that onto me, Omega Planet Ocean naughty one. But what's the point? Because it's not going to fit on that either. It's a shame they just got it so wrong. For the sake of an inch of material. Anyway, let's put that down before measuring my all. You can get these on eBay, you can get these on AliExpress. It works out it's about it's 50 quid, but the fact is you're paying for a good quality case, good quality glass, good quality hands, and good quality movement. You're not being ripped off for that money. It's good money, and especially as it's a Japanese, a genuine Japanese. The lume on it is very nice. You just can't go wrong with it. I mean, this is sort of watch you'd have for a solo watch. Like, you know, you'd wear it at night and day and at work and at home sort of thing. You know, you'd probably have it on when you're like on the job with the missus sort of thing. But you know, well, you've got to be able to see like where the remote is for the snooker, don't you, lads? I mean, today's been a quiet day. What's it? The heat's kind of flattened me again, and sometimes when it gets hot and muggy and I can hardly breathe and like pains in my chest and all the rest of it, like, you know, I just wish I could just bloody go. Well, not before I've got all the other watches, of course, like, you know. You know, I just can't hack it. It's just so oppressive. It's like something's pushing down on your chest all the time, you know. And my wound's been hurting as well. I'm not really eating very much. I will confess that I had not one but 2 egg sarnies today, and you know. But my legs keep blowing up, like a tree trunk going down, going up, doing that, like, you know. And I'm fed up with it. I can't wait for winter to come back, like, you know. At least I've got something then genuine to moan about, like, you know. So I've been catching up on the news, like, you know. I mean, like, apparently fox hunting, killing foxes, gives Boris Johnson a sexual event. When a dog is ripping a fox to pieces, right, it semi-sexually like affects him. And I'm thinking to myself, and this man is our Prime Minister. How? You know, what else he do? It's like, you know, he like goes on a fox hunt and then like all the way home he's having to dive into the bushes for a quick wank because, like, you know, some poor defenceless creature's just been torn to pieces by packs of baying dogs. You know, what I mean, you know, what that poor bird of his must be putting up with, like finding out, like, you know, that he likes, you know, bashing his bishop over, like, you know, destroying animals. Like, I mean, that is the mark of a psychopath and a serial killer, is when they find something sexually attractive about death. And I think that we have a very, very weird person in charge. It's all going on, like, you know, and the Tories have all been found out about their little hand-in-hand stuff with the Russians. Nice one. And they're going, well, there's nothing to see here. People are saying, but yes, there is. You know, why, when you were told by your own people, you were not investigating it all? And, you know, they're saying, but there was nothing going on. But they're saying, but we showed you what was going on. You know, and what it was that the Tories, through friends of Mr. Putin's mates, like, you know, right, they channeled some £3 to £6 million in donations, like, in return for, you know, favours, probably sexual favours, like, you know, perhaps they go on the mutual fox killing, and then, like, you know, perhaps like Boris Johnson, like, you know, bends over and takes one up the chuggers, or, you know, somebody Russian. But between £3 and £6 million was given to the Tories, right? And they are saying that, you know, the people that benefit from us leaving the EU is not the British people, it's the Americans and the Russians, because all those, like, things that the EU say are naughty and you can't do, like, they'll be able to do. Right, and that means the Americans can sell us their shit food, like, you know, their chlorinated chicken and all GM modified stuff. I mean, I'm saying that all of it's like that, but the thing is that, you know, we don't want to eat genetically modified food. That is a big thing. Nor do we want to eat chlorine washed chicken, because, as the EU said, is quite rightly, that what they do is that it doesn't matter what they do to the chickens before the end process, and they just kind of like hide all the sins just by dunking in a big bucket of chlorine. And I'm sorry, but if they just adopted, and I mean, like they've been exposed about American chicken production, like, you know, up the road sort of thing, or, you know, I mean, there's been a lot, and I mean, what they do to the, you know, it's, I mean, how Americans don't all die from food poisoning, like from their chicken, it's because of this chlorine stuff, because it's, I mean, they drop carcasses on the floor, and, oh yeah, that's all right, put it back on the conveyor belt, like, you know, there's cross-contaminant people, worker goes to the bogs, got no gloves on, has a good old Tommy Tit, like, you know, it doesn't bother, like, you know, I mean, goes out, he doesn't wash his hands, bang, and he's handling chicken carcasses, like, you know, and you got all, like, you know, poo particles all over the chicken. I mean, this is what we're talking about, it's what the EU talking about, you know. And again, not all chicken farms are like that, but many of them are, because they know that the law isn't there to, like, make them do these good things. They can just do what they like, you know, because at the end of the production thing, they dip it in a bucket of bleach or chlorine, and bosh, it's all, you know, it's all safe again, sort of thing. But that's not good enough. And what the Americans are not counting on is the fact is that us British won't buy the chlorinated chicken or the GM, because we are a little bit more savvy about our food than they think. They think cheap will win the war, and it's not. You know, we would rather buy something a bit more controlled and a bit more, you know. So, I mean, you know, like, it's like the whole thing, like, you know, with the Americans is that up until we voted to leave the EU, Americans were keen on TTIP, which was stitching up the NHS for American companies. We leave the EU, vote to leave the EU, or rather some people voted to leave the EU, like, you know, not everybody. And TTIP is like, oh, can't be bothered with it now, and they just dropped it, right? Which shows you that the real target always of TTIP was not Europe, it was Britain, because they want to turn Britain's NHS, which is free at point of use, paid for by the taxpayer, paid for by national insurance contributions. They want to turn Britain's NHS into a mirror of America's own disastrous, super expensive Medicare, and that is what they want. You know, people like Jeremy Hunt were paid a lot of money to try and make this happen, but coronavirus has come in and saved the NHS. Because, like, you know, the Tories for 20 years, what they're saying, has no chance of even thinking about privatising the NHS because of the coronavirus exposure on about nurses and stuff like that. You know, people have been made aware that this stuff is our heritage, it's our legacy, and but the Tories don't want that, because they get their free healthcare paid for by the government or somebody else, like, you know. Right, they don't care if they knock down your local hospital, because they'll never use it. You know, they begrudge. They think that, you know, for every person that's alive, you know, that costs them a penny a year, sort of thing, and they got a problem with. And they believe that by getting rid of the NHS, they can then drop taxes down to about 5p in a pound. You know, but people have to make up and pay for their own shit, and that's not going to happen either. And even, like, you know, the best of them, like, have kind of said, you know, like, yeah, okay, drop the tax down to 5p in a pound, sort of thing. Like, you know, I have to pay for my own private medical care, like, you know, but then the government wouldn't be able to function on a 5p in a pound taxation window. So it would never go down to 5p in a pound. It would never get to the point where, like, you know, you would have ample money left over. So the Tories are not your friend. They're really not. You know, the only thing that's been the enigma is Boris, because he's been more like a Labour government than he has been a Tory government, and everybody's expecting them, including me, to be an absolute fascist. So, last glimpse of the old Bliger. There you go. sorry if you saw me like whack Gilly. Like I actually missed him, so I didn't actually get him. But I mean, I you know, he was hanging off the skin of my arm, and he's a 2.5 stone cat. So you can understand then that, well, you know, when 2.5 stone, like, I mean, what if you had like a 2.5 stone mosquito hanging off your arm? Like, you'd soon say something about that, wouldn't you? So Gilly is all right, like, you know. I mean, he got out of the car. Yeah, I'm all right, and he will, like, you know, he got a smacked paw today because he just. Now I'll explain what it is, right? Gilly is a very insecure cat. I won't go into the whys and wherefores why he's an insecure cat. He's a very insecure cat. Now, one of the things that insecure cats do is they mark their human. Now, what he's doing is he's putting his paws and hanging them at various places to actually, with his scent, because they've got scent glands in their paws there, he's actually marking me. Because he's so insecure that I'm no longer going to be his human or look out for him or care for him, that he has to mark me every day. And he's also warning other cats off as well. He's trying to say to Gimli, to Squidge and to Bramble and, like, you know, Verity, like, you know, this is my human, not yours. He's actually kind of branding me, like, you know. But because he's so insecure, he doesn't do it properly, and he does it quite heavily. And he causes distress, and you've got to be kind of careful when they mark you, because they're actually thinking really good thoughts in their head, like very positive thoughts about it. And if you like smack them or shout at them all the time when they do it, then they will just walk away. They'll just leave. They'll just move somewhere else because they think that you don't want them because you're shouting and screaming and, you know, kicking their heads in, sort of thing, you know. And that's why, you know, cats are very fragile emotionally. I mean, shouting at a cat, like, it's a lot different from shouting at a dog. A dog, like, you know, just kind of goes, no, sod you, sort of thing, or goes and hides in a corner somewhere. Like cats, you can actually psychologically harm. You can make them neurotic. You can make them mentally ill by continual bellowing and shouting and smacking and, you know, treating badly. So, you know, it's because their emotional development is a bit higher than a dog, like, you know, because cats can display emotions a lot, you know. They can display things like irritation. They are, you know, pleased, excited, and things like that. You know, dogs do as well. Like, you know, but dogs have the tail. Right, where cats, like, they have a tail, but their tail does a far more complex thing. So, you know, think about that if you've got a cat and you're yelling at it all the time, because you are actually causing it some harm. You know, find other ways. Get a water pistol, squirt, stop scratching the furnace, squirt. Like, you know, those sort of things will stop them from becoming, you know, because it's just a physical thing. But if you beat them up or something for, like, you know, doing something minor, they'll go. That's why cats move out of places, because they think they're not wanted anymore. So they go find somebody else. Right, there you go. And I will catch you in the next one. And I'm sorry it's been a bit of a blather, but it has been 2 watches. Like, another snapshot of that. Make sure it's the right way up, isn't it? Yeah, it's the right way up. And you get like, you know, the Bliger is quite. Not only is it like quite a bit taller, it's quite a bit bigger. So there you go, 2 new classic additions to the fleet. I'll see you in the next one. Toodle pipski.